Hello everybody and welcome back. Today is all about pain. We're going to be learning about pain. I have in front of me here a pain scale that you typically see in like a doctor's office, going from 0, no pain, 10, worst pain. And I am going to be taking the experiences that I've had in my life and ranking them, seeing where they would fall on that scale. Hopefully maybe you guys, we can kind of compare pain tolerances, you know? So Andy, what do you think? Do you want to join me for this video?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Okay, well come on over. I have a bunch of stuff here for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you being weird?
Hey, bud.
Okay, so I have a bunch of pain things from the two of us, and we can just rank them? Okay, I think we should start with something most people have experienced as just like this is where this ranks, so everyone can kind of compare me and you, and you know, a bee sting. I would rank a bee sting. See, the thing with a bee sting, don't be in the video. I am not blurring you out of this one. That's too much work. I would rank a bee sting at like 2.5. Obviously, I'm not allergic to bees. I'm not allergic to bees, so for me, it's like I get stung by bees, it's not a big deal. And it's not like my throat closes up and I have to panic. Where would you rank bee sting, Andy?
I've never been stung by a bee.
You've never been stung by a bee?
No.
That's crazy to me that you've never been stung by a bee. Okay. 2.5. I haven't been stung much, but recently, less than a year ago, I was stung right here. And it freaked me out. Like, it didn't hurt, it was like, ow. But like, I was worried. I was like, if I swell up at all right on my throat, am I gonna stop breathing? I was fine. I'm gonna rank period cramps, because I feel like a lot of people watching can understand that. About 50%. I would put period cramps. Now, it depends on the day and how I'm feeling, and obviously it changes. The difference between a bee sting and a period cramp is the length of time that you have to deal with that pain. The severity of a bee sting, which happens for like 1 second, is probably more painful than a period cramp, but period cramps happen for days on end. I would probably put a period cramp for me at like a 4, 3.5. Okay, Andy, you broke a bone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get you on this scale. On a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being no pain, 10 being worst pain possible. You broke your collarbone too. That sounds really painful.
It actually was not that bad.
Really?
I think I was in shock.
I think that's going to be a common theme for a lot of these.
Being in shock?
Yeah, so for example, I fell off a bike multiple times in my life, pretty bad. And I have this scar on my elbow. I don't know if the camera can even see that, but it goes from here to here. I fell twice and hit the same spot on my elbow twice and was bleeding. And I don't remember being in that much pain because my body was in shock and it was in like, oh my god, panic mode. And I didn't feel the pain until later when I was cleaning it. Oh my god, cleaning it was worse than it actually happening. I feel like that's a pretty common theme. But where would you rank breaking a bone?
Like 3 or 4. I don't know. It wasn't that bad.
Really?
I didn't feel anything.
I'll put a 3.5. I would put falling off of the bike. Yeah, probably at a 3 or 4, but I'm gonna put it higher because the worst part was cleaning the wound because I fell on gravel and I got really dirty and it was this whole open thing. Cleaning it, probably like a 5.5. But the actual event was like a 3, 4. Okay, another thing that was pretty painful for me.
Where would you rank knife stabbing? Stabbing by knife? Getting stabbed with a knife?
What? What are you talking about?
Like have you ever been stabbed by a knife? Like a chef knife?
No, I haven't. I've never been stabbed by a knife. Have you?
No.
Okay, well then I wouldn't know where to put it, but I mean, probably.
Pretty bad, right?
Probably pretty high, yeah, probably pretty high.
Bad?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so there was
this.
this.
Kill you?
Would it kill me? I mean, I guess it depends on where you're stabbed. You know, like if I was stabbed in the heart or on the neck, yeah, it would have a likely chance of killing me. But if I was stabbed in the thigh, I'd probably not.
And you ruined this chair. What?
What?
That's a weird thing to say.
But
I'll be right back.
okay.
You can just do one of yours.
Where are you going?
I need water.
Okay.
It's hot.
Yeah, sorry. No, you do you. I'm sorry. Yeah, I made you turn off the AC. Yeah, I'll let you know when I need you, or
Okay,
I'll
bye.
wait for you. Okay. There was this time. Sorry, guys. There was this time that I was burned really badly on my hand from glass blowing. I was really dumb because you were holding this hot metal thing.
What do you think, Beignet? What's the best way to commit murder?
Your instincts when something's falling is to just grab it before it falls. And I did that. And I fucked up my whole hand, like completely burned it. That was really painful when it happened, but the worst part about it was
Much cleaner than a knife.
days later, I was in pain. Not like excruciating pain, but I mean, your hand, you can't use your freaking hand. That I would probably put at like a 7. That was really painful. IUD, getting that inserted, fucking painful. Hi.
What's that?
Hi. You good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're talking about IUDs, getting them inserted.
Okay. Well.
Uh-huh.
Do you want some?
I'm okay right now.
Here, can I just set this down over there?
Sure. This feels a little weird. IUD, yeah, that was one of the pretty painful ones for me. The thing with the IUD is they go in once with a metal, for me at least. They went in once with this big fucking metal tool, and they're like, cough, and they're like, because you don't really want to cough, and then they shoved this metal thing up there, and I remember it wasn't working for me. So the woman was like, it's not working, and she put down this like metal rod, and then she pulled out this like literally like a horror movie filled with all these metal like claws and scrapes and knives. I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? To try and get into my cervix. Oh my god, it was so scary. And so then she like had to do it once as like in a test, and then she came back out, and then she had to do it again for real with the IUD, and it was really painful. And I've had to have it done. What am I trying to say? I've had to have it done twice. I mean, it was painful. The second time they were like a lot nicer about it though. They were like, do you need a minute? Do you need a break? Oh god, that was just, I would put that at an 8. 7, almost an 8. A little before an 8. Okay, Andy, how would you rate stubbing your toe? Because I feel like we need something on here that both of us have done so we can kind of like compare and contrast our pain skills. And all you have is a broken bone on your...
I want to move broken bone down to a 2.
Really?
2.5.
2.5.
It really didn't hurt.
Okay.
And then stubbing a toe was like a 3.
Stubbing your toe hurts more than breaking your bone.
Yeah.
Okay. I would probably put stubbing your toe... Yeah, I'd probably put it at a 3.
Copycat?
It's definitely above a bee sting. I cannot believe you've never gotten stung by a bee before.
Let's keep it that way, huh?
Alright, do you want to tell the story of you falling out of a window?
I didn't fall out, I jumped out.
You jumped out of a window?
I slipped and I landed on my butt.
You didn't break anything?
Mm-mm. It was only the second floor.
Oh, it was only second floor.
It was more embarrassing than physically painful.
Where would you put that on the pain scale?
Right above stubbing your toe. 3.5.
You said before we started this that you haven't like felt a lot of pain in your life.
My life has been very easy.
You haven't like felt anything that was excruciating. So how would you know? Like, I feel like for me, everything is based off of the worst thing I felt. Thank you, Gretzky.
We have a new dog.
No, we do not have a new dog. We have a dog with us. He's not our new dog. We're just watching him.
He's part of the pack.
He is part of the pack. Stop licking Andy's feet, dude. Stop it. Stop it. That is on 10 in my pain scales, watching that. Okay, I want to talk about another basis of comparison for us. You said tooth things. I don't know what you meant by that when you said, oh yeah, I've had just generic tooth pain, or like something more specific. Because I have had my wisdom teeth removed, so I can rank that and we can kind of compare there.
That was also not bad at all. I think I was 8.
Uh-huh.
And took a baseball to the mouth.
You took a baseball to the mouth?
So I had to get braces on my top row.
Okay.
And I got a root canal into my teeth because it died.
How painful was taking a bat to the mouth?
A baseball. Not bad.
Oh my god.
I just bled a lot, so I was really scared.
Alrighty, where would you rank baseball to the mouth?
I don't know, 3.
3? Okay. And where would you rank root canal?
That was like a 5.
Really?
Just the whole thing, the root canal, the braces, taking the braces off, put them on, just the whole thing was stupid.
Was it painful or was it just annoying?
It was both.
Okay. So you're ranking
to sit through.
But
so many appointments.
Well, we have to compare. This is about physical pain, not emotional pain. Not emotional, just the physical pain of the tooth stuff.
4.5.
Okay. I would rank getting my wisdom teeth removed. The thing with the wisdom teeth is, like, I was under for all of it. It wasn't painful at all. The problem was, like, afterwards, not being able to eat and stuff. Although it wasn't very painful, it was painful enough that it was frustrating, and it lasted for, like, multiple days. I would probably put that at, like, a 5. You know what? I'm going to move this bike thing, the cleaning, I'm going to move that up to a 6. That was pretty painful. And I'm going to move this up to, I'm going to leave this at a 5. Okay, talking about emotional pain, I have on here panic attack. I have had panic attacks in the past. I know we're not talking about emotional pain, but for anyone that's had like a really bad panic attack, it does not feel like a difference between physical and emotional pain. It's all pain. You just feel pain. The worst part is you just think you're gonna die, and your body says you're gonna die, you're gonna die, you're gonna die. So it's like, even if you're not in pain, you think you're in pain. And then my heart was racing so fast, and I thought I was having a heart attack. So it's hard to remove the physical from the emotional. I'm gonna put that at an... Wait, get the video going. Just show them what's going on. I'm gonna put panic attack at a... Oh, it's so hard, because if we're just ranking the pain of the panic attack, not the emotionalness, I'm gonna put it at a 7. I had growing pains when I was younger. I would put those at 5.5. Yeah, so that feels fair. 5.5 of just really frustrating pains in my knees and stuff. So Andy, you said that you had a
What do you think the most painful way to die is?
The most painful way to die?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I haven't really thought of that.
Dehydration, maybe?
Dehydration?
Yeah.
Is that the most painful way to die?
Like you're so thirsty, but you can't get any water. I don't want that for you.
For me?
Yeah.
Well, the situation that would lead up to dehydration is very specific.
You should drink some water.
Okay. I'll drink some water. Oh, can we finish the video and then we're almost done.
Why wait?
I don't know. I'm just not thirsty right now.
Yeah, but I hear it in your voice, you know. You should drink some water.
Alright. I'll drink some freaking water. Oh, God. Ah! Oh, shit! Shit, okay. Can we clean this up? Sorry, I didn't mean to. Sorry.
It's fine. I can do everything myself. Forget it. Whatever. Hey, bud.
Okay.
So let's just keep going.
Okay. Sorry, yeah. Sorry guys. You had a wart frozen off of your foot?
Yeah, the bottom of my feet.
Yeah, was it the wart
It was
that
this
was...
foot.
I don't want to see your foot. Put your foot down. Put your foot down.
That's
Put
not
your foot
wide.
down. Put your foot... I don't care! That is ranked at an 11 of worst experience of my life.
So it was like right.
What about it was painful? Was it the actual wart that was painful, or was it getting it frozen off that was painful?
The whole thing just sucked.
I feel like the most painful things for you emotionally in your life are when things are annoying. We're not ranking on emotional or annoying pain levels. Physical
we went
pain
into
only.
the office, and first they injected it with stuff. So they stick a needle in the bottom of my foot, and they inject it with stuff.
Okay.
And then they get this aerosol thing, and they like freeze it. It fucking hurts. It was really painful. And then every few days, I'd have to like drain the blood. So I had to get a needle in the bathtub and just like poke it and let it bleed out. Otherwise it just like swelled up and I couldn't walk around really because it was so swollen in the bottom of my feet.
Oh my god.
It was gross.
Alrighty, where would you rank that?
6?
A 6. So of everything you've said, that's been the most painful experience.
Yeah. 6.5.
6.5 for a wart.
There were a couple.
Ugh. Alrighty. Let's talk about my stomach. Anything else but warts, please. I had a stomach issue for a while where I don't know, something about the acid in my stomach was not functioning properly. Like I had too much acid in my stomach, and every time I ate, it would build up, and I would be like kind of doubled over in pain for a while. When it happens often, you kind of just get used to it. You know, like, okay, I know it's gonna happen. I know it's about to happen. Like I know the symptoms of it about to happen and all that, and I'm able to prepare for it. But man, it was not fun. And just because it lasted so long, it took so long to figure out the problem, I would put it higher than falling off my bike. I would put this at a solid 6.5. No, I'm gonna put it at a 6. Yeah. Andy, you got a tattoo.
Yeah.
How would you rate getting a tattoo? I've never gotten a tattoo. I don't know.
Not that bad.
Yeah, not that bad. That's what I've been told. Depends on where you get it though.
I got it on my butt. I mean, it's not that sensitive. I couldn't like fall asleep while it was happening.
Yeah.
But it was just like a sharp, like a 2. It wasn't too bad.
Okay. I sprained my ankle pole vaulting. I was like, you go up on the pole and you come back down, and on my way down, I stepped and I you're not supposed to do what I did, and I knew that, but I put pressure on my ankle and it twisted and I sprained it. I haven't broken anything, but I felt the pain of that pretty immediately. That was not a trauma response. That was a ouchie. I don't know, 6.5. It's pretty crowded over here. And then another painful experience was I was a diver, and my coach was making me do back 1.5s. Let me show you back 1.5, because oh my fucking god. Ugh. Watching it makes me angry. Ugh. So what happened was I basically slammed my back like this onto the water. Not from this height. I was a 1 meter diver, but still over and over and over again. It was painful. But the problem with this is not the pain, it's the trauma that comes with it. It's knowing you're gonna have to go back the next day and your coach is gonna be like, you ready to try these back 1.5s? No, I'm not fucking ready to do more back 1.5s, Kate. Like a 7-ish. Like right there. It was so long ago. The actual experience of slapping your back was not that bad. It's the trauma that really just ranks it up like two or 3 more points. Okay, we're not ranking it off of trauma. I don't know. It's hard. I'll put it at a 7. Okay, Andy, what is this finger doing here?
When I was little, I was biking. I fell and I crushed my finger. 2 fingers. My peace sign fingers. And the nails came off.
The nails get all the way off, or just like mostly?
No, it was like just flesh.
Ugh! You've had some pretty gross experiences.
Yeah, it didn't really hurt though. It was just gross.
Because of the you went into shock?
I don't know. I was young.
Oh. Yeah,
Took a 2.
that's a 2. I don't... Okay.
It was way grosser than it actually was. What are you doing?
Right there. Yummy finger. Okay, so the most painful thing I've ever experienced is having a cyst on your ovaries. The cyst is not the painful thing. When I have a cyst on my ovaries, it feels like I have cramps, but the cramps might be more like at 4 or 4.5. So like not horrible pain. The issue is when that cyst decides to burst and then everything like moves all in here. Everything just that has happened to me multiple times in my life. The first time I went to the hospital because I felt pain on the right side, bottom right side, which is right where your appendix is. So I was in so much pain I couldn't move. I thought I was gonna vomit. I was on the floor. It was bad. But then after 30 minutes, I started getting a little bit better. And but I went to the hospital because they were like, they didn't know what it was, and they were like, oh, maybe your appendix exploded. And they said after your appendix exploded, sometimes because the pressure's gone, you can feel a relief of the pain. And so I walked into the hospital by myself, and they were like, what's wrong? And I was like, I think my appendix exploded. And they did all these checks and all this stuff, and they couldn't figure out what it was, and it took so long before they came to the conclusion that it was something with my ovaries. And there's not really much you can do when this happens. And that was one of the worst experiences of my life. But the worst experience of my life was the second time that it happened. Because I knew what it was. I knew what it was. I knew I don't have to go to the hospital. This is a very distinct pain. And the ramp up for I know it's getting worse, was maybe an hour to 2 hours of just, oh, it's getting worse, worse, to then maybe 5 to 10 minutes of just excruciating, I wanted to scream in my dorm room, and I was trying so hard not to make people panic, and then finally it started getting better. It exploded. Things are now okay, now everything's kind of coming back to normal. And after that, it took another 30 minutes before I could but it was on the ground, trying to breathe, couldn't get in a comfortable position. Well, let's put that. It's 9 out of 10. I don't know. I know that there are more painful experiences than that. And it's happened to me multiple times. It's happened to me after that. And every time after that, it has not been as bad as that second time. But holy crap. That was the worst experience of my life. So yeah, 9.5. Oh, gross. I feel like comparing these, you haven't had a lot of excruciatingly painful experiences.
Not really.
But I have had, and obviously I could probably think of more experiences that are down here, but I'm trying to think of the ones that stand out in my life, and it's hard to separate though physical pain from emotional pain in a lot of these. Some of these, it's all about the panic attack and the diving situation. The physical pain was bad, but the reason it's so much higher is because of the trauma and the emotional pain that came with it. Just because something hurts doesn't mean it's bad, but if it hurts, for some people, they have chronic pain, and the pain isn't horrible, but they're experiencing this constantly. And that constant pain would ramp you up to an 8, a 9, a 10, because it's you can't deal with pain for that long. I guess that's it for this video.
You didn't rank stabbing though.
I didn't rank stabbing?
Getting stabbed.
Well, I've never been stabbed, so I don't know how to rank that.
We can change that.
What do you mean by that?
We can change that.
Why do you have a knife? Why do you have a knife?
For content.
No, why do you have a knife?
For content.
No, content is not. Don't come with me about a knife. Do not come near me with the. Oh, don't! Ah! Can we clean this up? Sorry, I didn't mean to. Here, can you?
Didn't get anything. Relax.
I'm acting, Andy.
Oh.